Yep. Okay, welcome to Blast from the Past, 1920, the final wildcard game. This is John M. will be controlling the Rock Island Independence franchise using the Rams skin, I guess you'd say. And I am the Chicago Tigers, who only lasted one season in the NFL, using the Carolina Panthers. Once John gets his broadcast going, we'll get in. While we're waiting, let me just give you a little info on the teams. Rock Island, in the greater Chicago area, coached by Rue Barcella, went 6-2-2 and finished 4th. They were supposed to have a first-round bye, but I screwed up the simulation, so they're actually a road wildcard team now. And the Chicago Tigers, who only lasted one season in the NFL, went 2-5-1, 1-5-1 against NFL competition. Some historians believe they were never actually an NFL member, but most put them in the NFL standings because they played 7 games against the NFL. There's also a legend has it that the reason they only lasted one season is because Racine Cardinal owner Chris O'Brien challenged Chicago Tiger owner. That was a crash of trays falling next to me. Gil Falcon to a loser leaves the league match on Thanksgiving. The Chicago Tigers lost 10-0. Now the problem with this legend is that the Tigers would go on to play 2 more games, including a matchup against the Decatur Staleys later in the season, and Decatur would move to Chicago in 1921. Okay, giving them 2 teams in Chicago until 1959. So there you have it. For sake of John's broadcast, he is the Rock Island Independence using the Rams. I am the Chicago Tigers using the Panthers. And there's a notification that John just went live. So I'll add that to the playlist real quick while we're loading. Okay.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium.
So, this would be Cubs Park in Chicago, which today is known as Wrigley Field. And I must have lost the toss. I'm receiving. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't we have this issue with another game? Well, I should not have come out of the end zone. He is slow. I should not have come out. Okay. Wanted to share my link too, so that my phone is being a bitch right now. No, I don't want to watch John's broadcast. Oh, I can't get my phone to turn off. Hold on a second. I don't want it. No, I can't. Okay, I need to pause because I don't want to end up seeing your plays. There. Share. Rough start. My brand new phone here. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I do not want to. Oh yeah, okay, wait for you. Okay. A couple things have changed. I'm waiting for you to resume. The level has changed to All Pro, and the length of the game quarters changed to 8 minutes. It's to test out for Sack to the Future 61. I gotta be honest, I'm not that great on All Pro level, so I'm a little worried that the Bills and Colts playoff days are done. At least for a couple years while I learn it, but we'll see. Falcon on the carry. What's that? If you were dominating that much on All Pro, you should go back to the Bush League. Okay, so if you recognize the name Gil Falcon, who just ran the ball, he was also on the Hammond Pros in 1920. And I'm not, for this league, I'm not differentiating who played when. If they're on the roster, they're on the roster, because there's only 25 guys. Pass complete to Meager. The Tigers were coached and owned by Gil Falcon, which makes it even more confusing, and I went and played some games for Hammond. But his brother Dick Falcon is also on this team. I don't know if it's his brother or not, I'm just assuming. I also assume that's a fake name too, so. The Tiger quarterback is Duncan On, and the Rock Island quarterback is Fred Chicken. And the reason I bring that up is because part of me wants to win this game and not lose to John yet again. But the other part of me really wants a Super Bowl matchup between Fred Chicken and Frank Bacon of the Dayton Triangles. I am also not using my custom playbook. For the first time in a long time, I'm using the Scheme playbook. So we'll see how that works, because I'm gonna test running the Colts and Bills at a similar scheme to reality. Although you can't run the ball, well, you can't run the ball power offense like in the NFL 60s, or the Bills did, but it's just not set up on this Madden. That was Alfred Eisler on the carry, and it went nowhere. Okay. The burping his kid. We're not going to mention this kid is 16 years old, but he's burping his kid. Almost intercepted. So the drive stalls as Anon cannot hit his man. And where are we on the 45? Right. Wrigley or Cubs Park looks beautiful in 1920, doesn't it? Okay, so we want to... Ah, that's too hard. To the 10-yard line. Alright, so let me switch to the Rock Island. Rock Island is the better team. Obviously, like I said, they were supposed to have a first-round bye, but I screwed it up. They've got a couple Hall of Famers. To the life of me, I can't think of who they are right now. Fred Chicken is under center. Chicken in the hen house. So Arnie Wyman on the carry. Now, why were these teams used to represent these teams? No real reason. Just needed to fill out divisions to make sure you had the right amount of teams in the playoffs. We could have moved a franchise to Chicago and called them the Tigers. That's an option on here. But then they only last 1 year, so then you're looking at having to move them back somewhere else the following year, and it's just a pain in the ass. So using Carolina at least has a cat of some kind on their helmet. As far as the Rams for the independents go, I don't know. Again, I needed somebody in the West. Ooh, and Chicken gets the ball off before he's plucked. Fred. It's Frank Bacon on Dayton and Fred Chicken. Yeah. Fred. Oh, that can't be his real name. Because wouldn't you think, like, Bacon, there's other Bacons, so Kevin Bacon, obviously, but with a name like Chicken, wouldn't you think there'd be Chicken somewhere? You'd hear of it again. Power Rush there, and the sack is performed by somebody. Of course, there's no jersey numbers back then. If you've never seen a Blast from the Past game before, for the offense, they use 1 through, whatever, 25, 27. And then their defensive counterpart is 99 through the other, and it matched like number 1, where's 99. The one glaring exception in the league so far is George Halas in the Chicago Bears. He actually did have a number, because he played long enough to, so he's number 7 in Chicago. All over the middle, and it's caught. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, Oak Smith on the reception. Oh, got a message. Now, I don't want this. Okay, what is going on with this phone all of a sudden? Alright. Yeah, it was my wife sitting in a group chat, a family chat. Later tonight, am I correct in saying that the NFC Championship in Sack of the Future will be taking place? Gil Falcon on the tackle. Meanwhile, here in upstate New York, in my region, we're having a school day as we've had a ice storm. Nothing like the one 21 years ago. There's a fumble. And it's picked up by Johnny Barrett. So the Tigers have the ball. Arnie Wyman. Now, this is not, unlike with Sack to the Future, for those who've never seen it, Phantom Fighter did not do the ratings. I did. I used a different system. Based on games started and stat leaders, but since there's no stats in 1920, they can't earn extra points for leading the team or league, so they just basically get points for games started. They start at a base of 70, and if you start 6 games, you get 6 points. The Hall of Famer gets points for that. So it may seem like they're really bad, but trust me, as we move forward in the future, these players will get better, and by the time we're in the 30s and 40s, where there's actual stats, it'll feel more like a Madden game. However, on paper, the Independents should be better. They have at least 2 Hall of Famers and 1 more games. But the Tigers do have Gil Falcon. Also, as I get better with realizing where the points should come off and go on, the players will get feel more realistic too. Although, as far as I'm concerned, the slowness of the players compared to today's players is pretty close, because the NFL players in 1920 weren't like today's. Oscar Knopp is wide open. Nobody covered him. And Duncan On is able to dink and dunk the pass over the top. Oh yeah, this is... Hey Google, when did Prohibition end?
Prohibition in the United States lasted from 1920 to December 5th, 1933.
So we're right in the middle of Prohibition. We're just at the beginning of it, actually. Falcon up the middle, but he's declawed after a gain of 1. Oh, yeah. Well, this is Chicago. I mean, both these teams are from the greater Chicago area, so, yeah. Al Capone's sitting out there waiting to make some deals. And Falcon is just, he's got no burst whatsoever. He's now carried 4 times for -1 yard. If you look at the scores on the bottom, this will be the last wildcard game. So moving on into the divisional round, I'll only have to edit half the teams, and I've already actually done the Decatur Staleys, so the games can move a little bit faster. But we're also hitting the off season for Sack to the Future, and we're working on this untitled Worst Era project. So it is what it is. We'll get to them. So he fails to get 40-yard field goal in there with these kickers. I guess we're going to find out. The kicker would be Johnny Barrett for the Tigers.
Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. This a 40-yard attempt from the line. And hits kicker is right there. It's good. And the Panthers
Yeah, you know, they're either outright blocked or you don't get them. There is no. I wonder if, because of how it affected this year's playoffs, if the EA will try to get it into next year's. Have you noticed as you're setting up for the kick, the kick line in this Madden disappears? Oh, I missed that. Yeah.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out.
Okay, so after the fumble, the Tigers are unable to capitalize with a touchdown. Chicken is back under center. Chicken in the basket. Oh, what the heck was that? Arnie Wyman just did a somersault, landed on his feet, and they called the play dead. There's some weird animations in this year's Madden. Malone. Oh yeah. Hey Google, when was Kentucky Fried Chicken founded?
September 24th, 1952. North Corbin, July.
1952. But there is that scene in One Little House on the Prairie episode in the late 1800s where Colonel Sanders shows up. Obviously, it's not realistic, but... Oh, chicken. Chicken floats it, and it's complete. Yeah. We end the first quarter with Chicago Tigers leading 3-0. So it didn't seem to take too much longer. It's 19 minutes in, but there was a lot of my broadcast started almost 2 minutes before yours, and Wyman up the middle. Wyman up the middle, and I am on the Independence roster. Tackled by Milt Gee. I have a defensive end named Buckeye. Right up the middle for Wyman, and Buckeye's going to make the tackle. Garland, Buckeye.
offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
1st and 10. And a touchdown to Marshall. That would be... Why is this laptop such a piece of crap? Bobby Marshall on the reception. Yeah, you only have a couple seconds to make sure your arrow's pointing in the right direction, and then you're just left with the bottom half of the arch. Maybe that's part of All-Pro. Nice kick return there by, that's your roster, Gil Falcon. Which that'll probably mean he's shit for running, yeah. Certain formations. I think the biggest adjustment I'm going to have to make is that the running game's going to be much different. And I'm... Alfred Eisler on the carry. I think my biggest fears is that in Bush League I was just so horrible, and not just against humans, because obviously there were human competitors in that league that were just far beyond superior to me. But against the computer I didn't do that well. Although I've now been playing the game for 4 years, and a lot of the things I've learned hopefully will transfer. Eisler on the carry. He's now had 4 carries, -5 yards.
That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Yeah, I should have been doing that too, because that would have helped. Pass complete to Johnny Barrett. What's that? I had a couple games with Thurman Thomas, but that day that all of my offline franchises reset, I lost that one and I just deleted it. I now have learned on this Madden it's helpful if you use the save create save point. That seems to be working for the offline stuff anyway. Falcon up the middle. Yeah. Falcon with a 4-yard carry. Falcon helped me win the game in the Hammond. I forget who your team was representing. Detroit, I believe. Detroit Heralds and the Hammond Pros. Oh, man. Tried to fit it in, and your guy kept going. My guy stopped. Interception by, was that Nichols? Sid Nichols. I don't know. Sid Nichols with a diving interception. And now Fred Chicken is back in the basket, under center. Over the middle and complete. Looking for number 6, Bobby Marshall again. Oh, right up the middle, wide open. Breaks the tackle of Falcon, and then pays for it. As no, that's your guy. Why am I on the wrong roster? Well, that was 99. Duncan on, the quarterback. Lowered the boom. Yeah. That is right, yeah. Tackle there made by number 94, Oscar Knopp, who had a big reception earlier in the game, wearing number 6 though. Wyman, 10 rushes, 61 yards. Well, you got the ring thing going. Knopp again on the tackle. How do you get... wide open? That was what I was going to say. I have no pass rush. Eddie Novak on the reception. Right up the middle again. I've got no... Well, there might have been, just not in the...
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to...
Oh, I have a viewer. Third down. One thing I've noticed, like I said earlier in the game, that I'm using scheme-specific playbook instead of my regular, is that, yes, comments are showing, Phantom Fighter. You cannot hear John. What the hell? John. Yeah. That's on YouTube then, because all the settings are right. He's sharing his voice. I'm allowing party chat to be shared. I mean, everything's right. This is ridiculous. Yeah. YouTube, well, comments are showing up on the screen finally. I guess we should be happy we got that. Another fumble recovery by the Tigers. With a minute 56 to go. Anyway, Phantom Fighter, since you can hear me, I'll let you know. We're doing the 8-minute quarters and we're on All Pro. Of course, using these teams, you don't get a sense of the speed because none of these guys have it. But I don't know. There's been a few things that are definitely different. But I can't understand why you can't be heard. Because up until that, like the party chats the other days, as far as I know, everybody's voices were being shared. Why it won't let me share your voice? But yet on your video, Knopp with a diving reception has Duncan on. trying to ruin the chicken bacon Super Bowl. Oops, I just picked a play without even looking at it. Okay. Yeah. Now, by 1920, the forward pass is legal. However, you had to be 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage in order to throw the ball. That would be in effect until 1933. Yeah. Also, when Brian was in a party with you, only your voice was on YouTube. Both voices are Johnson. So, alright, it has to be something on my side. But I went and checked all my settings beforehand. Yeah. Well.
They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Let's go!
Why I ran on 3rd down, because now I'm worried about the voices. I wasn't freaking paying attention. What were you saying when I joined about playbook? Oh, okay. I'm using scheme-specific playbook, which means I set up the playbook based on like more realistic looking for the Chicago Tigers at that time, instead of my downloaded custom playbooks that I've always used. I'm going to try and go to make the Bills and Colts look more realistic that way for Sack of the Future. And it's not. No, it's a touchback. It's not real possible to make. Oh, it's at the 10. Ooh. It's not real possible. I'm gonna at halftime go look at my settings real quick for to make these teams look like 1920. But at least I'm gonna get used to not having all my plays available to me. Up the middle with Wyman, 82 yards on the ground now. The Rock Island Independents leading 6-3. I am using the Carolina playbooks. It's not a creative playbook. Well, unless we can find a creative playbook that matches the actual scheme from the era, I'm going to use as close as I can to that's on a, which I might have to do some research or look at Operation Sports to figure out, okay, what's a good playbook for this scheme. But the good thing with Sack to the Future is I really only have to change when coaches change. And in 1961, get him! 62, the Bills hired a new coach, so it makes sense that my playbook will be changing. Lou Saban comes in. Yep. Did you play for him? Was he still there when you played? Okay, so we'll definitely have stories about Lou Saban as we get into the. Yeah. And as John's not paying attention, he leaves the final timeout on the field, and we go to halftime. Okay, I'm going to, once I can, pause the game. Created playbooks work great with play now, but terrible in franchise for CPU team. Obviously, they work for a player if you set the audible. All right. I can't seem to pause it yet, so I'll have to select the kickoff. And then maybe when we get up to the line of scrimmage, I can pause it. Oh, it's not letting me. So let's get the kick out of the way then.
One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC Wildcard round. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone.
Okay. I will be right back. I don't want trophies. What the hell? Settings. Okay. Sound and screen. Just double check that. Audio output. Nope, that has nothing to do with it. Okay. This is sharing and broadcast. Link to video broadcast settings. Advanced settings. Audio sharing settings. They're all checked. Yeah. Display message, something different. Okay. Audio sharing settings. They're all checked. Alright, what was the other one? I thought there was a way to do it in the middle of the... Let's go to party and check those settings. Party settings. Chat audio. Prioritize. Allow your voice to be shared. Mine's allowed. Party privacy. Public. Under party. Oh.
So it's party settings seems to be where the issue is.
Okay. Did you check it?
So hopefully, yeah, I checked it and
all right, well,
switched it back to always allow. So we'll see.
So Phantom Fighter, you'll have to let us know if you can now hear John.
I should theoretically just start popping back up into it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that we realize it's party settings is where the issue is. All right. Whenever you're ready to start.
I've already hit. You've got to hit it now. Okay. All right, so
that's just weird. Because I know I set that before.
Right. Maybe you got to do it each time. I don't know. I shouldn't have to because mine is always set.
Unless I set it on the other profile and then it set it on this one.
That might be. Yeah.
Might have been it.
Damn it.
I'll have to double check my other profile too, just in case. He's got some.
Oh, he says he can hear both now, so that was it. What's that?
The little dude, he's over here. Mom is playing with him. She's picking him up, and he's just boarded right out, legs out straight, everything out straight. That kid's got a core.
So although we want these games to be competitive, we are going to use them to test things. That way we don't have to, as long as Phantom Fighter and come on, get him. Brian agree, watch the game and agree what we've done is okay. Because the other suggestion was to test them in preseason games, and I don't know about you, but I really don't want to play preseason games.
The only other thing I could think of is just do up exhibition games.
Yeah.
Really matter. Would be the same settings. The only real difference would be the
rosters.
Roster. And the attributes for individual players.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you want more, so what are the settings for this game? All Pro, 8-minute quarters. The sliders are everything set back to 50 except injuries. Injuries are on, but they're at 15. Just the things we discussed yesterday in the chat. And we can work on sliders from there. It's kind of, it will be hard to tell the sliders on this because of the ratings. I went the wrong freaking way. The ratings are so poor compared to 1961 that, yeah. But the sliders itself, the sliders is going to be a work in progress. I think after every second future week, we should see, okay, is something too good? Is something not good enough? Because we can always adjust those. Yeah. Now, if you missed the beginning of the game, I talked about the two teams. The Rock Island Independents, who John Scott, the Rams. They were 4th in the league, and were oh, nice tackle. Okay, I imagine the interceptions may need to be turned down and CPU accuracy. Well, yeah, that, I mean, well, although we have only had the one interception and it was an amazing diving catch.
Had two fumbles, huh?
Yeah, they've had 2 fumbles. The Independents were 4th in the league. They're supposed to have a bye, but I screwed up. They ended up as a road team. Oh, almost a chip drill.
It's hard to say whether the turnovers have been really influenced by the adjustment or not. It's just one game. This is going to suck. Get through. Off the crossbar.
Phantom Fighter, you might want to close your eyes. We might just lost our only viewer.
Right. He just keeps his head right there where it is.
And the game remains 6-3. The Independents have a touchdown. Now, as far as the Chicago Tigers, there's lots of rumors about them because they only played. Phantom Fighter says he's done. There's lots of rumors about them because they only played 1 year. They were 2-5-2, 1-5-2 against the league. Some historians believe they weren't even a league member, that they were only put in the standings because they played most of their games against the league. But that's not confirmed nor denied. The other rumor is that Chris O'Brien of the Racine Cardinals, or the Chicago Cardinals by that point, challenged Gil Falcon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the first name right. G-U-I-L. Gil, whatever. To a loser leave the league match. The problem with that legend is that the Decatur Staleys moved to Chicago in 1921. There's an injury timeout. Malone. Who's got Malone on their team? I think it's you.
Good question.
At least in Madden 19 they show the player's name.
Yeah.
Let me look real quick while we're lining up. Malone is a Tiger. Grover Malone, the rookie out of Notre Dame, 25-year-old wide receiver. So that's awesome. We'll test out his replacement right now.
Oh, jeez. Chicken just blew the coverage. Is that Chicken?
Chicken was running around with his head cut off. And Malone goes out injured. His replacement, Ralph Capron, out of Minnesota, catches the deep pass.
There's one thing I've noticed is you can typically be a victim of switching a player a lot more at a higher rate.
Yeah. And the extra point by Johnny Barrett is good, and this defensive struggle is now 10-6 Tigers, and Malone will return soon. I don't know, I might want to keep Capron in there. Capron showed some speed.
Yeah.
Phantom, you ought to like this game, being 2 Chicago-based teams. Where exactly is Rock Island? I know it's somewhere in the Chicago area.
Is it a bay?
I have no idea. At least I've always been...
I thought it was like Rock Island Bay or something.
I've always been under the impression it was in the Chicago area or somewhere in Illinois. Hey Google, where is Rock Island?
Rock Island, Illinois, 61201 is 774 miles away.
Okay, it's 774 miles away from me. Thank you, that helps a lot. It is in Illinois, but 774 miles away from me right now. Hey Google, I'm buying an Alexa. What?
My apologies, I don't understand.
I said, hey Google, I'm buying an Alexa, and she goes, my apologies, I don't understand. You're being replaced. My in-laws have an Alexa.
Island is west of Chicago.
Hey
near
Google,
a small town of
how
Moline,
how far is Rock Island from Chicago?
right next to the Rock Island
The
Arsenal.
closest Rock Island is at Illinois. It is 154 miles away from Chicago by car.
154 miles. Phantom Fighter says it's by the Iowa border. 2 hours west of Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Why did that guy dive? Look at this right by the catch. The guy just dives for no reason. 3 hours if you go the speed limit.
Yeah, it's right on the border. Follows along the, I'm thinking right, Mississippi River.
7 hours if you go around rush hour.
Yeah. It's on the
Damn.
Mississippi River.
On the Mississippi. So, although it's in Illinois, it's just not as close to Chicago as I was led to believe.
Wasn't one of the teams in the ladies baseball league, the Rock Island, wasn't it the Rock Island Peaches?
I don't know. Are you talking about that movie, A League of Their Own?
Well, a league of their own, but that's historically.
I've never actually seen that movie all the way through, so I couldn't tell
Really?
you. No, my wife watches all the time, but I know. My wife watches all the time, but
You ever been to Cooperstown?
no.
Really?
No, I know. It's like 3 hours for me, and I've never, or 2 hours maybe, and I've never been there.
I was just there last November. A year ago last November.
I want to hit the 5 major Hall of Fames: the baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and rock and roll. I just haven't gone to.
I've been to the baseball one twice.
Even
Hard
Phantom
Rock
Fighter's been
Cafe
to
was
Cooperstown.
downtown.
He says Cooperstown is amazing. He's even been there, and he lives out in the Midwest. I don't want to give away where he lives. That's up to him, but.
Love to get to the football Hall of Fame sometime.
How did he catch that?
He aggressively jumped up and caught it.
All right.
He was aggressive.
I don't have, one of the biggest issue I'm having with switching playbooks and not having mine is I don't have a 4-6 defense.
Yeah. That's the thing about using one playbook all the time. I notice that even when I'm like playing against with other teams, because I obviously use the Giants mainly. But that's part of the reason why I like the enhanced picking of the playbook, or version of the playbook, and I don't mind using the coach's suggestions because it helps eliminate a little bit of the confusion. But if you find a particular play you like, you gotta know where it is.
Yeah. He says if you like the Jags, go with the Bengals, the 46, go with the Bengals or Jags, which is fine. But the problem is that the Bills in 61 or 62 and the Colts obviously aren't going to run a 46 scheme. So I don't know yet what I'm going to be running. I'm going to have to do a little research on that.
Chicken running for the first down.
Chicken with his head cut off. And then I switched, as you were saying. I'm expecting to switch to the guy on the left of the screen.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing right. They switch me to the guy on the right. And therefore, when I go switched, I'm running right and ran right away from you.
Well, looking at the end of the end zone here, makes me wonder if Katz is in town.
And the touchdown run by, I can't see the name on that.
It was number 20, so it might have been like...
Once you get through the first 12, I don't know because it's first come, first serve at that point.
Right.
The first 12 are the starters, and then after that it's... Okay, so the Independents retake the lead.
Actually, I think the disappearing kicking line is a Madden 19 thing. I don't believe it's a Madden 18 thing.
Huh.
Because I believe it was doing it even before we changed the settings on this.
Falcon over the 30 to the 32.
Oh, we're gonna trolls tonight.
No, well, we blocked that one guy, or else he might show up.
Yeah. We'll troll once and then.
Actually, I got on my anti-troll video that I did afterwards, I've already gotten 13 views, so.
Yeah, I watched that on the way to work.
Oscar Knopp with a first down. What's that?
If there's a guy in there that's named Oscar and another guy in there named Meyer, there's got to be a third guy on the team named
Well, Phantom just said he remembered this Madden 19. He's not sure you can judge sliders. But the 8-minute quarters and the old pro setting, I don't think there's a lot of change from 18 to 19 on the settings, though. Pro to all pro, so I think we're good with that.
And we also had to pause for a little bit to adjust some settings.
The ball is just tipped up into the air, and
It was just an ugly situation.
Ooh, what?
Could have been bad. Could have been really
Quick-
bad for me.
quick
Should have
butt.
been really bad.
Quick fingers, I picked the play again. Okay.
Posting that picture, aren't
Anand goes airborne, get the first down.
you? Oh. That's funny. Yeah.
And the quarterback is lined out way to the right in the Wildcat formation, which would actually be kind of realistic. Ah,
Notice it.
the end of the third quarter. This would kind of be realistic for 1920.
I don't think the Wildcat was even remotely around back then.
No, but multiple guys played the position of what would be now known as quarterback.
Well, yes, I mean, back then it was just kind of a jumbler, like, if somebody felt like throwing the ball, they'd be like, listen, I'm going to throw this one.
Yep.
You're much better at throwing short and fast ones. This guy can launch it deep. Which I guess, you know...
Oh!
Man, Marshall! That could have been a nice pick six right there.
Marshall trying to get a defensive touchdown. Phantom says he loves the score of this game.
Well, that's mainly due to, I think, the speed of the players versus...
Well, actually, if you look at the scores on the bottom of the screen, you put up 41 in that game. That one was you were against computer.
Yeah.
And that one I put 51 and you had 33, so this one defense is definitely playing out.
This has been kind of like a more relaxed game because we've had the settings thing going on. If there is one thing I've noticed, it's those deeper balls like that. I don't know if it's significant, really. They seem to be more inconsistent, but...
That one
I
and two
understand.
will have a lot to do with ratings. Has the whole
Yeah.
league been all pro, or did you? I just switched over for this game. All the settings on the first three games were exactly what they were in Sack to the Future. Right down to so the games all felt the same.
Unless the receiver is really wide open. Wow. Oh,
Malone comes back in and makes a diving catch he had no business catching. There was nobody open. That would have been a good coverage sack had I not just last second thrown that prayer.
yeah.
And
See if you miss it.
Grover Malone must be because he's from Notre Dame. That's why he played with Newt Rockney as a player at Notre Dame. So
Where's Sam Huff when I need him?
I don't even know if he's born yet. Hey Google, no, because he would have been about 40. And hey Google, when was Sam Huff born?
Sam Huff was born on October 4th, 1934.
So it's still 14 years away from. I don't know if you heard that or not, but October 4th, 1934.
Ah.
This broadcast will be a little bit longer, but again, we had I had about 2 minutes before John got his broadcast going, and then we had the stoppage at halftime. So I don't think it'll be too much longer in general.
Yeah, we could do that. So it only adds 4 more extra minutes to the total gameplay.
Yeah.
So.
And our simulation games for worst league. Did we agree on bad era or what was it? Baden NFL? I don't know.
Bad, I don't know. Possible. I'm okay with most of the ones that came up.
Except things like Miley Cyrus's Malls.
Yeah. I still thought True Bars was pretty good too. True Bar football.
Anand completes the pass to Barrett for the touchdown, and the Tigers have retaken the lead. With 6:23 to go. I think bad NFL content was one that was inspired by this. Is going to be horrible.
Ooh.
Oh, barely gets in there. That keeps it away from having a field goal tie it. But after this game ends, I am going to immediately start. Nah, it's almost noon. I got chores to do tonight. I will work on the 75 Bears. I think trying to do 2 a day on my days off were just too much, because last night, although we were storming, I just didn't feel like doing another team. So I stick to the 1 a day. I have 26 more teams to do in worst era than the 22 for Sack to the Future. And of course, my part is small. So 40, what was that, 48. So I have a couple doubles. I won't do anything on the day of the Super Bowl. My wife and I have a date night coming up too, so be about somewhere in early March. I believe Worst Era will be completely named. Did you catch? No, and numbered. And Sack to the Future will take precedence as soon as you guys get through the Super Bowl. And you know one thing, John, if you are able to simulate the Super Bowl, it won't be that we didn't try, because you will have to go through all. You already went through me. You're going to have to go through both of them. So it won't be for lack of effort on our part. You will have earned it, that's for sure.
By all means, the records that I got with those 2 teams is not indicative of how terrible the league is.
No, well,
Neat, I lucked out.
You've got 2 of the best rated teams. And then looking at 62, the Giants and the Oilers, again, were both runners up in their leagues, so you know, the Oilers don't start falling off until 63, and the Giants, they're still in the title game of 63 too, so it's 4th and 21, and he's going for it. This could be the game.
Theoretically.
The other thing is that you have your 4th down calls you might want to be more judicious with on All-Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, I ran right away from you. I had it, and for some reason, instead of hitting you, I ran by you and waved. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, you'll have that.
That's the first time I've run 4 verticals on 4th down in a couple weeks actually.
Now, you gotta hold me to a field goal. Or Coach, what's the Independence coach? Rue Barcella is gonna have a lot to answer for in the press conference. Yeah, the one thing too about this is Madden 19 is the running backs are still making moves when, and I know the settings are set up right.
I was just watching a video last night where somebody was claiming that the game is for the most part scripted because of the way the quarterbacks react to pocket pressure and whatnot.
I've seen one guy claims about field goal kicking being scripted,
yeah.
and I see where he's coming from because you can feel it when it's happening. I don't know if necessarily, I think the word scripted is wrong. I think it's more or less that there are certain, yes, as you called it, the random number generator.
Yeah, I think what it is I think it has to do with timing on the player's part with the trigger. If you can hit the trigger, like, it's literally the ball is snapped and you're either hitting it as the ball's going, or there's something there exactly. And you just are fast enough to get that reaction, and once you get that reaction, it kicks that animation into play. Which I think is bogus, because there shouldn't be an animation. It should be you're just fast enough to get the player there and get in front of the kicker. And it shouldn't affect the kicker at all.
Yeah. Oh, Falcon wasn't in for that play. Alfred Eisler was, and he didn't get anything.
Another thing too with I've noticed between 19 and 18 is you can when you're playing against another person, you can hear when they're pushing the button on a kick.
Oh, for 18?
You hear 3 little marks on 18, yeah.
Yeah. On 19, I haven't. Of course, I don't have it turned up usually because we're broadcasting. So.
Right. I can't hear it.
All right. I'm gonna have to leave the broadcast for a minute and answer my wife's call.
I'm gonna push the button.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Here we go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
That was kind of a good Oh! He gets a touchdown.
So we'll oh, they're gonna review it. Damn it. The ruling on the field is upheld. Okay. I was gonna say, what's that?
Yeah, Courtney's throwing a plan at me and I'm trying to figure out exactly what she's I have an idea what she's planning, but timing seems
Oh, my wife was calling to check, see how things are going on this snow day, even though we didn't get any snow, it's ice. But, well, the result of your, and I know it's the way you play and you're not going to change, but your fake fourth down backfired, or you're going for a fourth down backfired that time. I think he turned his mic off. Oh, there it is. I mean, it doesn't always bite you, but when that's the key, Phantom Fighter, in the NFC title game, is to force him into a fourth down. As I said, I love you, John, but I don't want you having both teams in the Super Bowl.
No, fourth downs are kind of like the kryptonite. I don't believe in punting unless I absolutely have to.
I mean, that's the way you play. That's fine.
And the requirements for me punting are very, very short. It's almost super strategic. Oh, this is it.
Milt Gee gets up there and tips the ball away. Okay, Phantom Fighter says he always tries to force his opponent to fourth down. So, I mean, that is part of his game plan. That's a good game plan. Yeah.
Default, most people will play on fourth down. It doesn't matter where they're at unless they're within the field goal.
My other goal, he says, is to get more points. Come on, get him. Oh.
I believe that if you hunt you're inside the 40s, between the 40s, you're wasting a down. That's again just my method.
Yeah, I mean, I can see your point, but well, you're giving up field position, that's for sure. You really got to trust your defense on those scenarios.
Right.
And
If
I know
you're
with the
inside
Bills,
40, then that might be more conducive to actually coming away.
yeah, you were on your own 30 on that one. With the Bills, I don't have the secondary. I don't trust my secondary to do stuff like that. The Colts, their defense is strong enough that I might. But of course, jumping up to All-Pro, I don't think I'm going to be doing any kind of fakes for a while. I need to make sure I learn how to win the games first.
You didn't catch it?
Oh, we didn't?
You did.
Well, now here you're on my 48, so it's...
Right.
And you're down by 11.
Yeah.
You're down by 11 with under 2 minutes to go, so...
And he dropped it.
Rich Capron with a hit right at the last second, forces the drop out of number 4. Eddie Novak, who I believe had one of your long touchdowns earlier. See, now I go into, since this game is about testing and all that, my game plan at this point here is to run the clock out. Force you to use your timeouts and gain at least one first down to force the end of the game. If I can't, on 3 downs, I will punt. But especially with an 11-point lead. If it's under 8, it depends on the field position. Like right here at the 50, I think that punting is better. Of course, we'll have to see on the All-Pro how that goes. I'm a lot better at kicking than some people in video games, and I don't know why. I've just always been real good at field goal and punts, so...
You should have been a kicker going up.
I tried, dude. I can hit an extra point, and that's it. Now, if I get the first down here, the game is over.
I still find it to be extremely unusual that a punter not pick up or kick a field goal.
Well, they didn't even let him try the drop kicks. He can drop kick, but they didn't even let him try.
So that blitz.
He had no coverage on that.
It's because it's sold out blitz.
Yeah. Well, it was third and 8 or so I wanted to try to pick up the first down.
Yeah, I should have played for that, but I didn't.
Well, this is what I love about football. It's really strategy. You got guys who play different. I mean, all 4 of us have different strategies. Yours is, I would say, you're more of the video game strategy because of the not going for it on 4th and stuff. But that's also more common nowadays with NFL coaches. You see a lot more going for it on 4th down scenarios, not taking the easy 3 points when they're in range. So maybe video game strategy is the wrong term. Maybe it's more of a modern strategy.
See, when I think of video game strategy, the strategy I think of is somebody's using the same 3 plays over and over and over again. Yeah, we tend to try and mix it up as much as possible.
Phantom Fighter says he calls your strategy pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I really don't slow down. It's not that I like running up the score. My thing is I like stats. I like with Billy Cannon and Webster, I wanted to take and beat Brown. So I needed more yardage So anytime I got the ball, I was going to keep running, period. And I wasn't going to stop just because the score was going to keep going up. I wanted the yards. I wanted the records. You know?
So the positive about this is that's the last play, is that I end my 3-game losing streak against you in our personal lifelong competition.
Yeah.
The negative is that my dream of a chicken versus bacon Super Bowl is over. At least, hopefully, they both come back in 1921 and play. I don't know. But this one was definitely a good defensive game. Had a couple big plays. What's that?
The Rams head coach has got like that little silly haircut.
Well, he's younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, the Packers hired a new head coach today, Matt LaFleur. And Phantom Fighter says, "Dang it, I don't know." Oh, he wanted more chicken versus bacon too. I know, I ruined the chicken versus bacon thing. I'm the bad guy. Vilify me. So the Chicago Tigers, in their only season in the NFL, move on. And we will have the divisional round coming to you shortly. Phantom Fighter, thanks for watching. And somebody just joined the broadcast real late. But thanks for watching this Blast for the Past test game for Sack to the Future. And we will come back with more Blast for the Past in the coming weeks. And tonight on the John M. and Phantom Fighter channels, it's the NFC Championship. Y.A. Tittle and the New York Giants versus Billy Wade and the Chicago Bears. Until next time, I'm Vinnie Vincent. He's John M. And you're not.